What is up, guys? How are you? Can you hear me okay? First, let's get that out of the way. I'm here. I'm speaking. Hi. Let me know if you can hear me okay. So welcome to the live stream. So many of you are already waiting. I'm so happy to see you all here. Thank you for being here. First of all, let me know if you can hear me okay. And yeah, we're gonna have a really fun live stream today because we're talking about the new year. It's 2021. Welcome to 2021. And this live stream is kind of just going to be centered around celebrating the new year and talking about all of our exciting writing plans and publishing plans for the year. I'm just going to move this screen over. It's so weird because my mouse is over here, so I keep using it for my laptop. Okay, whatever. Okay, awesome. You all can hear me? Great. Happy New Year. How is your 2021 going so far? Let me know in the chat. My year is off to a pretty good start. As you know, I spent the last 2 weeks at or on my writing retreat, which is, well, not a writing retreat, actually. It was my What's Next retreat. What? Okay, it was my What's Next retreat, and I told you all about that last week or 2 weeks ago, and then I left for 2 weeks. I went on my retreat. Basically, it was just to plan my year. I talked all about it in my last video. You probably saw that. But it was to plan my year and plan all of my writing goals, my publishing goals, and just basically figure out what direction I'm taking in the new year. So that was last week, and the week before, I kind of just like took the first week of the year to like awaken to the new year, which is another thing I talked about in that video. Check it out if you missed it. I saw that some of you said that you were you went on like your own What's Next retreat, which was so cool. I'm so glad that I inspired you to do that. That's awesome. So today, in today's live stream, I'm going to be sharing what I planned on that retreat and what I'm going to be doing in the new year going forward. Okay, so welcome. Welcome to the live stream. I felt like that was a really rambly, all over the place intro, but whatever, we're just gonna go with it. So everyone can hear me okay? Great. Sounds like your 2021s are off to a good start, and your new year is off to a good start too, which is amazing. And how this live stream is gonna go is I'm gonna break it down into 2 parts. So first we're gonna talk about writing plans, publishing plans, and we're going to talk about, I'm going to ask you about your writing plans as well, and publishing plans if you're an indie author or traditional author as well. And then we'll talk about the future of the channel. So obviously I took some time on my retreat to figure out what I want to do with the channel going forward, and just some really exciting plans, some really exciting resources that I have lined up for you guys that I'm very excited to share about. So that's going to be like the second part of the live stream. We're going to talk about that. Okay, so as I'm talking about all of this stuff, feel free to ask me questions about any of it. And when you ask me questions in the chat, if you write my full name, I believe, it will highlight in orange so that I'll see it. Okay, so first, before we get any farther, I just want to call out one super special thing. You might have noticed there's something new in the chat, and it's called Super Chats, and it's this little button in the bottom of the chat where you write something, and you'll see it there. It is basically just a fun way to support my channel while we are here on the live stream. So if you get value out of my videos, and if you want to support all the crazy awesome projects that I'm going to be doing this year that I'm going to tell you about in 2 minutes, that's a way to do that. So I will also call out your super chat when you do, and it will be pinned in the chat depending on how much you give. I'm new to it as well, so it's kind of new to me as well, but it's just a fun way to support my channel. So there's that. Now, first things first, I know I mentioned this last year and I made a vlog about it, and you all know about it and you've all been waiting for it. And it is my 100 Days of Sunlight audiobook. That's like the first thing on my mind when I'm thinking about plans for the new year and for just going forward, because it's the only thing that I still have like carried over from 2020. So I like to finish those projects first. But The audiobook, yes. So it is, I would say, about halfway done recorded, almost halfway recorded. I still have like 200 pages left in my document, which feels like a lot, but I can record like pretty much 50 pages in one session, which I think is pretty good. I don't know. I don't talk a lot as like in my normal life, so except when I'm on YouTube and on live streams and stuff. So my voice gets tired pretty fast. So a 2-hour session is pretty much all I can do at once. And obviously over the holidays, it's been a little bit busy, so I haven't been out in the studio very much, but I am making progress on that, and we are looking at a release date of mid-February. Okay, so I can't give you like a exact release date yet. I wish I could, but it's my first time doing this, so I kind of have to factor in like some of the learning curve with distribution and stuff. It looks like it's going to be pretty straightforward. I've been doing a lot of research, but I'm looking at mid-February for the release of the 100 Days of Sunlight audiobook. So I'm going to take a look at some of the comments in the chat here. So I'm waiting for the audiobook. Yay! I'm so glad. I know everyone's like, what? Where is it? But thank you for your patience. And my shirt, yes, my shirt is from the merch store, by the way. So check out the merch store if you haven't already. I don't know if it's in the description of this video, but it will be in the description once I'm done with the live stream. And it's in the description of my last video because that's when I announced it. Or I think I announced it in the Ask Abbie video that I did. But whatever, it's somewhere, and I'll link it in the description when this video is done. So there is that. Oh, I just saw a super chat come in. Thank you so much to Miranda. Well, why not? #1 fan. Thank you for all of your content. It's life-changing. Thank you so much, Miranda. I so appreciate that. And I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad my content has been helpful to you. That means so much to me. Let's see, some more questions. Enneagram changed my life. Thanks for sharing. Yay! It changed my life too, honestly. Let's see. Some of these are like writing questions in general, which actually a perfect time to mention this is that I do take writing questions on my show Ask Abbie, which you've probably seen. And that is my favorite way to answer your questions because I can take the time to really think about them and give you valuable answers. So if you haven't checked that out, check that out as well. That is at my Patreon, which is patreon.com/Abbie Emmons. You've probably heard of it, but maybe not. You might be new. If you're new and if you're just hopping on, I saw like 200 people hop on in the past 5 minutes. So that's amazing. If you're new and you just hopped on, this is what we're doing for this live stream. We're talking about our writing plans and our writing goals for 2021, as well as my publishing plans and some plans going forward for my channel. So things that are going to change in the future for the channel. All for the good, by the way. There will only be good changes. More content, better content, all the things. Okay, let's see. So I already said mid-February for the audiobook, okay? Mid-February for the audiobook, that's what we're looking at right now. And I know this is one question that I've gotten a lot over the past year because the past year was kind of crazy, a lot going on, and I didn't publish another book, which I was really sad about because I wanted to. But 2020 was just like, we won't even talk about it. We've moved on. It's 2021. And this year, I will be publishing another book, which I'm so excited about. Okay, it's going to be a standalone, and I'm not going to release what it's about yet. I'm not going to announce what it's about yet, but I am going to announce it soon. So stay tuned for that. But you can rest assured that another book is coming. It's going to be amazing. And I can't tell you the release date or what it's about or what it's called, but you're going to love it. So it's another standalone. It's a YA. I can tell you the genre. It's a YA fiction, obviously, with some romantic elements, but also like just a lot like 100 Days of Sunlight, but different. It's totally different. It's its own story. It's a follow-up. novel, which I took a long time to figure out what is my follow-up going to be, because I didn't know for a long time, and I was like, I'm so conflicted. What should it be? Like, should it be this one, this one? And I had so many options. But I just took a lot of time this year to think about, okay, like, what do I really want to follow up 100 Days of Sunlight with? And 100 Days of Sunlight is so special to me, and I know special to a lot of you guys, which makes me so happy, that I wanted it to be, I wanted it to like feel like a good follow-up to that book, you know? So I did put some thought into that, and I'm excited to share it with you and share it with the world. So release date is to be announced, and so is the title and what it's about and all of that. So I'm very excited to share that with you guys. Okay, whoa, the chat is flying so fast, I can't even keep up. Okay, more super chats. Thank you guys so much. Sabrina, thank you so much. Thanks for being there for us and answering our questions about writing. Loved this opportunity, this community you fostered. 412 people like the video for Abbie. Thank you so much, Sabrina. That means so much to me. Marissa as well. With your help, I've finished two chapters of my novel. Thank you for your content. Thank you, Marissa. I'm so happy that my content has helped you. And that makes my day. Thank you so much. Okay, so wow. Okay, the questions are just like flying by. It always goes so fast. Can you make a video on an MC-less story? That is a good idea. Actually, I'm going to ask you guys to do this, not in the chat, because the chat will go by too fast and I won't see it. And when the live stream's over, it will just be really hard to find your comment. But what I want you to do is in the comment section of this video, when we start talking about the channel, I'm going to remind you to do this. But I just thought of it now. In the comments section of the video itself that we're on right now, I want you to write your video requests when they come to mind, okay? So if you have a specific video request in mind, something that you want me to make a video about, write that in the comment of this live stream itself, not the chat, but the comments section, so that I can see it later. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through all the comments and find all of your requests and put them in like this big master list, because I like to give you the content that you want to see. So I am constantly asking you guys to tell me what you want to see videos of. So yes, that was just a side note. I'll remind you again later. So yes, the follow-up book, that's another just big thing on my plate right now. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. And let's see, comments, okay. Got your book for Christmas and I'm so excited. Yay! I'm so glad. That was so much fun. Like doing the Christmas book signing thing, it was just amazing. Yeah, so a lot of you are posting your questions twice, I see. So if they're specific writing questions, go to patreon.com/Abbie Emmons, okay? Because that is where I'm going to be able to answer your specific writing questions. Because here on the live stream, we're talking about making plans for the new year, making writing goals, setting our writing goals, and what my writing goals are, I'm sharing with you guys. So if you have specific questions, I want to answer them, and I want to answer them thoughtfully and give you valuable feedback. So head on over to patreon.com/Abbie Emmons, and you can get into the Ask Abbie, or you can also click the join button below this video if you don't want to, if you're not a fan of the Facebook thing, Facebook community. But the Facebook community is amazing, so I highly recommend you do join if you're into that. But I do want to answer your questions. I just want to be answering questions related to what I'm talking about on the live stream. Okay, so yes, tell me, I wrote down to ask you guys what your writing plans are. So tell me what your writing plans are for 2021, because gosh, I have so many. Like, I took a whole day just for figuring out my writing plans on my What's Next retreat. I was like, I just want to take a whole day and just figure out what do I want to write this year. And obviously I figured out my publishing plans as well, which was very so it was so much. It was so much to think about. You almost need like more than one day to think about it. But I basically just took the whole day and figured out my writing plans and my publishing goals. which publishing goals are easier for me to figure out than my writing goals, because what I really like to do with writing is just kind of follow my heart with it. Like currently I'm writing a literary novel that I've been talking about all year because I've been writing it all year, since April of 2020, and I'm still writing it. I have 153,000 words of it, and I'm like finally starting to get into the climax, or like act 3. I actually haven't even technically gotten to act 3, which is ridiculous. I'm like, this book is going to be so long, but whatever. I like it. And obviously I'm going to take some things out of it when I edit it. There's always editing, right? Thank God for editing. But yes, I'm going to finish that book. And that's like the first thing on my mind. And I also have some other like secret writing projects that I'm not going to talk about yet because they're a surprise. But I have a lot of things that I want to write this year. And I also really, really want to write more short stories. Like, I kind of rediscovered my love for short stories in 2020, and I'm like, oh, I wish I had more time to write short stories. So I'm making more time to write this year. That was like a big thing that kept coming up for me, is like, I want to have more time to write. And like, obviously, I'm a writer. I want more time to write, but it's like, that seems to be something that I don't make enough time for, like the actually sitting down and writing something. And that's why I feel like I have so many ideas that I don't necessarily go and execute on, because everything is just gets so busy all the time and it's ridiculous. I'm like, I need to write. Come on. So more time for writing, that's coming in 2021, which I'm excited about. And I want to write more short stories. I also want to do more screenwriting. That's another thing that I really enjoy. And as some of you might know, I talked about this briefly last year, in the birthday live stream for 100 Days of Sunlight. I did like a book birthday live stream. Some of you might have been there for that, might remember that. And I talked about how I am adapting a screenplay for 100 Days of Sunlight. And this is like kind of just a for fun project. And for the future, I hope someday it will be used, but it's not being optioned for film at the moment. But I am writing the screenplay because I love screenwriting. I love film. I feel like a screenwriter at heart, obviously a writer and a screenwriter, but I really love screenwriting. So I want to do more screenwriting this year, and I want to make more videos about screenwriting. I don't think I've ever made a video about screenwriting, but as I do more of it, I'm obviously going to make some videos about it. And I know a lot of you are screenwriters, which is amazing. And I love seeing such a diversity amongst writers in this community. Like, some of you are novelists, some of you are screenwriters, some of you do web comics and anime. And it's just so cool to see all the different types of storytelling in this community. It's awesome. Okay, I saw another super chat go by. It went by so quickly. Okay, Taylor, thank you so much, Taylor, for the super chat. Your curriculum is the single thing that saved my story. Also, I've tried methods from Pixar and a big editor named Sean Coyne, and yours is just as good and easier to boot. So major thank you. Thank you so much, Taylor. That means so much to me. Wow, that brightened my day. Thank you. So I hope you guys are telling me about your writing plans. I asked you for your writing plans, but I see a bunch of questions. Is the book you're publishing the book you've talked about, or one of your secret projects? The book I'm going to publish this year I haven't released like any information about it yet. So I guess it's still technically a secret project, but it's going to be a book that I wrote years ago. So it's not the one I'm currently writing. It's one that I actually wrote in, I think, 2016. So yeah, it still needs a little bit of revising and rewriting, but I am in the process of that. I'm doing the opposite, adapting my screenplay to a novel. That is cool. That must be a really interesting process. I actually have an idea for a screenplay that I want to write this year, that I like originally thought of it as a novel, but now I'm like, it has to be a film. It has to be a film. And it's like, in my mind, I'm now seeing it like a musical. So it's really evolved quite a bit. But I still might write the novel version. I think it's good to have like different versions of things. Let's see here. Whoa. Okay. The chat just like flew by. Wait. Okay. Awesome, guys. You guys are amazing. It sounds like you have some awesome writing plans for 2021, and I'm so excited for you. You should be so proud of yourselves for planning that, for going after that. Like, that's honestly, that's a big part of it right there, is just making the goal, setting the goal, and going after what you want, going after your author dreams. Okay, for those of you just coming in who don't understand what I was just talking about with the super chat, because I'm new to it as well. The super chat is a fun way to support my channel and support all these crazy projects that I'm planning for 2021. So if you want to do that, if you get value out of my videos, and if you want to support my projects, feel free to do that. Help me out. And otherwise, I thank you so much for being here on the live stream and on the Writer's Life Wednesday community. I'm so glad you are a part of this community. And I want to just thank you so much for being here. Okay, so back to our plans. Publishing plans. Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. So these are now going into my channel plans. Plans for my channel going forward, and just things that I want to create for the channel, for the Writer's Life Wednesday community, and videos and resources. I have so many ideas. It's so ridiculous. Like, at the beginning of the year, or rather at the end of last year, I was doing my What's Next retreat, and I was writing down all my big goals, and I'm like, I want to do all of them, but I can't. It's so annoying. But I narrowed down like the specific ones that are very important to me, that I think will be very valuable to you. So that's what these are going to be. And some of them are a surprise, so I'm not going to reveal all of them, but the first one that I can reveal, that I've been talking about for a long time, is the book blurb masterclass. So I've been planning this forever. As you probably know, if you've been here for any amount of time, you probably have seen me tease this and tease this and tease this. And it's going to be a masterclass about writing a best-selling book blurb. And what I mean by that is a book blurb that captures your potential readers' attention, pulls them right in, and makes them want to read your book ASAP. And what I did was I developed a template, which is basically like it's like a fill in the blank template. Okay. It's like a paint by numbers for writing book blurbs. And I love it so much because it perfectly lines up with the 3-act story structure. So if you've been following my channel and you've used the 3-act story structure and you wrote your novel with that structure, or something like that structure, it doesn't have to be to the letter, but there should be sort of the same flow going on. It will be so easy for you to use this template to write an amazing book blurb. And I've been developing it for a while, and I know I've been teasing it for a while, but I want it to be really great. I want it to be very helpful and valuable to you when I do release it. And another thing that I'm very excited about this class is that I'm going to include not only the template, but I'm also going to be rewriting book blurbs that I personally think suck. So they might even be blurbs for popular books. I've seen a lot of popular books that have, in my opinion, terrible blurbs that I'm like, what sold this book? Because something else obviously sold it other than this blurb, because this blurb is awful. Okay, so what I'm going to do for this class to demonstrate this blurb template and why it works so well is to take a few blurbs that are from popular books that I personally think are lacking, and rewrite them and show you how I rewrite them and why the psychology behind this template works, why it captures a potential reader's attention. Okay, so I'm very excited to share all of this with you. It's going to be great, and it's going to be more of like instructional, like my usual videos. So it's going to be like me sitting in front of the camera, also showing you my screen, but mostly teaching how you use this blurb template and why it works, the brain science behind why it works, right? Like we always like to talk about. So we're going to talk about all of that in the class, which I'm very excited for. And that is coming at you in March. I don't have a specific date yet, but I will be releasing the date pretty soon, I hope, because I'm pulling together the last few elements of this. and getting it all together to be something really special for you. So that's coming in March. I don't have a specific date yet, but it will be in March. So I know I've been teasing it forever. I'm so looking forward to finally sharing it with you guys. Okay, another super chat came in. Thank you for the super chat, Kara. Abbie, you have inspired me beyond measure. Thank you. Wonder if you've ever thought of putting your writing advice into a book. Hint, hint. Yes, actually, I have. And that is actually one of the things that I was journaling about and brainstorming in my What's Next retreat is putting together a nonfiction book that would be basically like Writer's Life Wednesdays in the form of a book. And this is something that I've been seriously thinking about for a few months now. And it's one of those things that was on the list for my big 2021 goals, but it might not happen until later in the year. So I can't promise anything on that yet, but I've definitely thought of that and I've thought about it seriously. And I know that you guys would probably like it. If you would like it, tell me in the chat right now. Tell me if you want to see a nonfiction book. It's basically like Writer's Life Wednesday in the form of a book. I think it would be something that you would dig. I'm pretty sure. I've gotten a few requests for it so far. So let me know if that's something that you want to see. And I have had a lot of ideas for it. I've actually already started sketching out what would be in a book like that. And I think it could be really awesome. Another element to it that I would love to do is to have a book like that. Okay, like all the yeses are coming in. Yes, yes, yes. I am so glad that you guys want something like that. That makes me so happy to see that there's you guys want something like that. So that's definitely going to come. That's going to happen. When, I'm not sure yet, but I want to definitely put a lot of work into that on that project this year. I can't promise if it will be released this year. It might be, hopefully it will be. I want to just make more time to do things like that. That would be very valuable resources for you guys. So that's something that I want to do. And another element to a book like that I really want to do is to have a workbook component that would be basically a lot like my templates that I give out, but in the form of a workbook. So a bigger spiral bound book that you can write in and brainstorm in and sketch out your character profiles. And it would be just really pretty and aesthetic. That's the dream for this book for me. So there'd be a book and there'd be a workbook and it would be so cool. So that's definitely something that I've thought about a lot. And I'm so glad that you guys want to see something like that. That makes me very inspired and encouraged to actually do something like that. So thank you. So yeah, okay, let's see what's next. So we talked about the masterclass. We talked about, the next thing. This is going to be for plans for the channel. So going forward on the channel, I want to just have more, I want it to be more organized. So I do a lot of videos on different topics. Most of them are just writing, but I also talk about publishing. So for a long time, I've wanted to kind of take those two topics and put them into two different categories, so to speak. So have almost two different shows. So Writer's Life Wednesday, we talk about writing, obviously, but I want to have a whole show that's dedicated to just indie publishing, because that's something that I see a lot of you guys are moving towards indie publishing. And also a lot of you're currently indie authors, and just want to learn more about the process and how to improve it. And that's something that I've been wanting to make more videos about for a long time. So this year I want to really seriously make videos about indie publishing. I've made a few here and there, but I want to keep going down the logical next step for each video, so that when in the future, when I have these videos done and put together, you can just go back through them and follow the process. That would be really cool, I think. But I want it to have a designated show, so an indie publishing show on the channel, not instead of Writer's Life Wednesdays, but in addition to Writer's Life Wednesdays. So I'm going to be working more towards that in 2020 and publishing more videos on indie authoring, indie publishing, all of that. Also, another exciting thing that I want to do is talk to more indie authors, successful indie authors, and interview them. So you've seen me and Katie do interviews on the Kate and Abbie Show. We're going to do more interviews on the Kate and Abbie Show going forward, which is our podcast. In case you don't know that, go follow it. I post all of the episodes on my community tab in the YouTube channel. So if you haven't seen them, check them out there. Follow Kate's channel. She posts amazing videos as well. And so yeah, we're going to do more interviews this year. And I want to do some interviews this year for my channel, about indie publishing. It's just so exciting. Okay, there's so many different like elements to this that it would just take me all day to talk about. But another thing that I want to do for the channel going forward is this is like another show idea, I guess, but it would also kind of just be like a video series. It would be part of Writer's Life Wednesdays, but it would be its own thing as well. And that is going to be, I think I'm just going to tell you guys the name, because once I launch it, it's just going to be like, there's going to be a pilot episode, and then we're going to go into like a whole series of videos like this. And I don't have the idea like completely solidified in my mind yet, but I have some really good ideas for it. And this name has been floating around in my mind forever, that I'm like, I need something that has this name because I love it so much. And that is Science of Story. That's just like what I kept thinking about. It's like, I want something called Science of Story. And finally I decided that's what this is going to be, like a series, but also like a show on the channel. I don't know really how to describe it, but it's going to be like its own style of videos that is going to be breaking down like specific elements of story, and specifically with like case studying stories. Okay, so you guys know how much I love case studying stories. So this is going to be like a show dedicated to case studying elements of particular stories that I think are really well done, whether it's like the opening of a story or like the climax of a story, or even like something to do with the characters, or writing a particular character personality type, or even just like critiquing elements of well-known stories. Like it'll be a bunch of different things, but all of it will be related to what is the science behind why this works or why this doesn't work. Okay, so Science of Story, that's going to be kind of the brand of that show / series. And I'm very excited to start that. That's going to start either later this month or the beginning of next month, depending on how crazy my schedule gets. But I want to start making these videos. They're going to be fun. They're going to be like shorter than Writer's Life Wednesdays probably, but knowing me, they'll probably be just as long because I'm so long-winded. But they're going to be fun. So the editing is going to be a little bit more dynamic and interesting, and I'm excited to try something new with that. I think you guys are going to love it. So yeah, that's another idea that I have for the channel. Another thing that I want to do way more of this year that I did last year for NaNoWriMo, and you guys loved it so much, I loved it, is the Write With Me live streams. So I did one for NaNoWriMo, and since then I've had so many of you guys say, when are you going to do another Write With Me live stream? I want to do another Write With Me live stream. And I was so amazed by the response, because I'm like, wow, that was really fun for me, but I didn't know if it was fun to just like sit there and write with me. So the response I received was amazing. And I'm like, of course, I want to do this again. So we're definitely going to do more Write With Me live streams in the new year, which I'm very excited for. I want to do them like, I won't say like once a month, because just in case we don't end up, in case things go like end up getting too busy and I don't get to do it once a month, but I'm going to aim for once a month. And I think it'd be really fun to like get together and write our books and hold each other accountable for writing and showing up for ourselves. So I'm really excited for that as well. That's going to be really fun. So those are some of my biggest plans going forward for the channel. And again, I want you guys to comment in the comment section of this live stream, not the chat, because the chat goes by too quickly and I can't see what you're saying. So go into the comment section of this video so that I can see it later, and post your video requests. So if you want to see me do a video on a specific topic this year, comment that in the comment section below this video, okay? Because later I'm going to go through all the comments and I'm going to take all your requests and put them into a master list, and I'm going to use that master list for inspiration and brainstorming going into this new year as I make more videos, okay? Because I want to give you guys the content that you want to see. I want to help you with the specific writing struggles that you are dealing with, okay? So obviously a lot of the requests will overlap because I know a lot of you have the same requests, and those ones will probably be made first. So if you see a request come up that you are like, oh, I really want to see that, maybe like that comment so that it gets more views and so that I see it, okay? Because probably a lot of requests will come in and I'll try to look at them all and copy them all over and brainstorm with them. But I want to make sure I see the ones that you guys really want me to make videos about, okay? I obviously have a ton of ideas already. Like I have a whole Scrivener project full of ideas for this year and for my channel. And I have so many video ideas. Like it's this giant list and I could just like space them all out among the year and I'd be all set. But I want to make you guys videos that you want to see specifically. So you got to let me know what those requests are. Okay. So another thing that I have been thinking about a lot, and this is like more of a technical thing, but it's something that I do want to consider and I'd like to see what you guys think of it, is moving the Ask Abbie community to like its own thing on like my own website. So that would be right now what it is you go to my Patreon, you get into the Inner Circle Facebook group, which is an amazing community, by the way. That community is just awesome. And you can post questions for the Ask Abbie show and ask me specific questions, but I never really liked the whole process of that. And I'm not necessarily like, I'm not a fan of Facebook myself. So I don't really like it being on this other separate platform. What I'd really love is for it to be like super intuitive on my own website and something that you all could go to, and it could be like its own community thing. So tell me what you think of that, because that's something that I've been thinking about a lot. And I'm like, I really want to take the time to figure that out and do that because it would be way less cumbersome, I feel. And it would just be easier for me to manage and to be there and to be spending more time with the community if it was like on my own platform. And it would still be like laid out. I'll figure out how to lay it out so it's like a social feed so that you can post, you can comment on posts, and it'll still be like the community feel, but it will be easier to navigate and just more streamlined and more intuitive in general. I just don't like how messy it is right now. So that's something that's also on my plate for 2021, probably later on in the year, because it's not like super important, I guess, but it's just one of those things that has always bothered me. And I'm like, I don't like Facebook and I don't like how messy this is. And, and a lot of you guys don't like Facebook either. You're like, oh, do you have something other than Facebook? And it's kind of annoying. So yeah, that's something that I also have been thinking about for this year. And that's pretty much it. I know that I have other plans that I don't want to share with you guys yet because they're a secret, like the book that's coming. That's still a secret, but it is coming. So the secret's out that I am going to be publishing a follow-up standalone book later this year. And I'm very excited for it. I think you guys are going to love it. I hope you love it. I'm excited for it. And I want to write more short stories or screenwriting, finish this novel I'm working on, and hopefully write a new one. I also want to do more writing challenges because that's something that I have only ever done in November for NaNoWriMo. And usually November is such a crazy busy month. Like last year, I totally failed NaNoWriMo. And just there's just so much going on. So, I'd like to do some writing challenges that are like earlier on in the year and not so stressful, I guess, just for fun. So we'll see what happens there, but I want to do way more writing and I have some surprises planned for you guys too. So that's just like, I'd say that's like 70% of it. what I just shared. But I'm leaving the 30% for surprises because I love surprising you guys with cool new content and resources and other fun things that you didn't see coming. So we'll leave that to be secret for now. Okay. So that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for coming to the live stream. I loved seeing all your writing plans and seeing you guys, seeing your beautiful smiling faces. And thank you all for being here. And thank you for the super chats, by the way. You guys are amazing. And just every single person in this community, I am so, so grateful for you being here. It's going to be an amazing year. Let's have an awesome 2021, okay? Let's have the best year yet. Let's write more than we've ever written. And let's make our stories matter. Make your story matter. Obviously, check out all the cool merch. I will put the link in the description of this video. It's not there yet because I forgot, but I'll put it in afterwards. So if you're watching the replay, the link will be there and you can go and get some merch and make your story matter even more because you'll have these reminders all the time. Every time you look in the mirror, every time you look at your coffee cup, every time you look at your mouse pad, there are mouse pads that say, make your story matter. And I love them. I want one. Okay, so thank you guys so much for coming to the live stream. I loved hearing about your writing plans and your writing goals. And I hope you enjoyed hearing mine. And I had fun sharing all of this with you. So another reason I do this is to hold myself accountable because once I share it, I have to do it. So that's part of the reason why I'm announcing this stuff, because I want to commit to it. I want to give it to you guys, and I'm excited to share it. So that's 2021 in a nutshell. Let's go and slay this year. Thank you all so much for being here, and I will see you next Wednesday. Until then, my friend, rock on.